Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. Children, today I am going to narrate a very interesting story, Forgetting. The story Forgetting is written by Robert Lynd. He was born in Northern Ireland in 1879. He was a great essayist. He died in 1949. So let's start the story, Forgetting. A list of articles lost by railway travellers and now on the sale at a great London station has been published. And many people who read it have been astonished at the absent-mindedness of their fellows. The statistical records were available on the subject. However, I doubt whether it would be found that absent-mindedness is common. जो absent-mindedness है वो क्या है? वो common है. लोग ज़्यादातर भूल जाते हैं, जैसे कि एक ट्रैवलर ने अपने आर्टिकल्स वहाँ पे भूल गया और अब वो कहाँ रखे गए हैं सेल में, ग्रेट लंदन स्टेशन में, वहाँ पर उनको पब्लिश किया गया है. It is the efficiency rather than the inefficiency of human memory that compels my wonder. Modern man remembers even telephone numbers. He remembers the address of his friends. He remembers the date of good vintage. He remembers appointments for lunch and dinners. His memory is crowded with the names of actors and actresses and cricketers and footballers and murderers. He can tell you what the weather was like in a long past August and the name of the provincial hotel at which he had a village meal during the summer. In his ordinary life, again, he remembers almost everything that he is expected to remember. How many men in all London forget a single item of their clothing when dressing in the morning? Not 1 in 100, perhaps not 1 in 10,000. How many of them forget to shut the front door when leaving the house? Scarcely more. Scarcely, hardly. Scarcely means मुश्किल से. And so it goes on through the day, almost everybody remembering to do the right things at the right moment till it is time to go to bed. And then the ordinary man seldom forgets to turn off the lights before going upstairs. जनरली क्या होता है, जो ऑर्डिनरी इंसान है वो इतनी आसानी से कोई चीज़ नहीं भूलता है. टेलीफोन नंबर, अपने फ्रेंड्स के एड्रेस, एक्टर एक्ट्रेस के नेम, वो सब उसकी मेमोरी में रहते हैं और तब तक वो नहीं भूलता जब तक कि वो बेड में सोने के लिए नहीं जाता. बहुत रेयर चांसेस होते हैं कि जब वो भूलता है. There are, it must be admitted, some matters in regard to which the memory work with less than its usual perfection for him. This is the more surprising because medicine should be one of the easiest things to remember. As a rule, it is supposed to be taken before, during or after meal, and the meal itself should be a reminder of it. दवाई लेना याद रहता है कि ये खाने से पहले लेना है, ये खाने के दोपहर के खाने के बाद लेना है. हो सकता है कि खाना भी जो है एक तरीके का रिमाइंडर हो कि दवाई कब लेनी है. The fact remains, however, that few but the moral giants remember to take their medicine regularly. Modern psychologists tell us that we forget things because we wish to forget them, and it may be that it is because of their antipathy to pills and potions that many people fail to remember them at the appointed hours. कई बार दवाइयों का भी असर होता है कि हम जो है भूल जाते हैं, हमें सही समय पर किस समय पर क्या करना है, वो दवाइयों की वजह से भी हम भूल सकते हैं. This doesn't explain, however, how it is that a life-long devotee of medicines like myself is as forgetful of them as those who take them most unwillingly. The very prospect of a new and widely advertised cure all delights me. Yet, even if I have the stuff in my pocket, I forget about it as soon as the hour approaches at which I ought to swallow it. Chemists make their fortunes out of the medicines people forget to take. क्या होता है कि कई बार क्या होता है कि पॉकेट में भी कोई चीज़ रखी रहती है कि दवाई किस समय खानी है, लेकिन हम उसको भूल जाते हैं, और इस चीज़ का फ़ायदा कौन उठाता है? केमिस्ट. The commonest form of forgetfulness, I suppose, occur in the matter of posting letters. So common is it that I am always reluctant to trust a departing visitor to post an important letters. As for myself, anyone who asks me to post a letter is a poor judge of character. Even if I carry the letter in my hand, I am always post the first letter box before I remember that. I ought to have posted it. Wary of holding it in my hand, I then put it for safety into one of my pocket and forget all about it. सब कुछ रखने के पॉकेट में रखने के बाद भी, सब कुछ हाथ में सब कुछ होने के बाद भी मैं क्या करा, उसको पोस्ट करना भूल गया. After that, it has an unadventurous life till a long chain of circumstances lead to a number of embarrassing questions being asked, and I am compelled to produce the evidence of my guilt from my pocket. और जब मैं भूल गया तो मुझसे कई एम्बेरसिंग क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए, और मैं उस चीज़ के लिए कंपेल था कि मैं जिस चीज़ का मैं अपराधी था उसको मैं अपनी पॉकेट से उसको प्रोड्यूस कर सकूं, उस एविडेंस को मैं प्रोड्यूस कर सकूं. This, it might be thought, must be due to a lack of interest in other people's letter. But that cannot be the explanation. For I forget to post some, even of the few letters that I myself remembers to write. ये explanation correct नहीं था. जो मैंने खुद भी लिखे थे मैं उनको भी भूल गया था. As for leaving articles in trains and in taxis, I am no great delinquent in such matters. I can remember almost anything, except books and walking sticks, and I can often remember even books. Walking sticks, I find it quite impossible to keep. I have an old-fashioned taste for them, and I buy them frequently, but no sooner do I pay a visit to a friend's house or go a journey in the train than another stick is on its way into the word of the lost. I dare not carry an umbrella for fear of losing it. To go through the life without ever having lost an umbrella has even the grimmest jawed umbrella carried ever achieved this. क्या कहता है वो कि मैंने कभी भी अम्ब्रेला अपने साथ नहीं लिया. क्यों? क्योंकि मुझे डर था कि कहीं मैं उसको खो ना दूँ. Few of us, however, have lost much property on our travels through forgetfulness. The ordinary man arrives at his destination with all his bags and trunks safe. The list of articles lost in trains during the year suggests that it is the young rather than the adult who forget things, and the sportsmen have worse memories than their ordinary serious-minded fellows. कि जो कॉमन लोग होते हैं ज़्यादातर वो अपनी चीज़ों को नहीं भूलते हैं. अपने डेस्टिनेशन में वो अपने पूरे जो उनके साथ ट्रंक्स, उनके बैग्स वगैरह होते हैं, उनको लेके पहुंचते हैं. वो लोग उसको नहीं भूलते हैं. और जब जो कैलकुलेट किया गया तो उससे ये पता चला है कि जो यंग लोग होते हैं वो एज़ कम्पेयर टू द ओल्ड पर्सन वो लोग ज़्यादा भूलते हैं चीज़ों को. Considerable number of footballs and cricket bats for boys returning from the games have their imagination still filled with a vision of the playing field, and their heads are among the stars, or their hearts inward outside. Then memories prevent them from remembering to do such. Small rest of the day, they are citizens of dreamland. The same may be said, no doubt, of anglers who forget their fishing rods. Anglers are generally said, I do not know with what justification, to be the most imaginative of men, and the man who is inventing magnificent lies on the journey to home after a day's fishing is bound to be a little absent-minded in his behavior. The fishing rod of reality is forgotten by him as he daydreams one of the fates of the fishings, rod of utopia. His loss of memory is really a tribute to the intensity of his enjoyment in thinking about his day's sport. He may forget his fishing rod, as the poet may forget to post a letter because his mind is filled with more glorious matter. Absent-mindedness of this kind seems to me all but a virtue. क्या कहता है कि इस तरह की एब्सेंट माइंडेडनेस की मतलब दिमाग में खूब सारे थॉट्स भरे हुए हैं न्यू चीज़ के लिए, तो ये एब्सेंट माइंडेडनेस एक तरह की वर्च्यू है, गुण है एक तरह का. The absent-minded man is often a man who is making the best of life and therefore has no time to remember the mediocre. Who would have trusted Socrates or Coleridge to post a letter? They had souls above such things. कि अगर आप कुछ भूल गए हैं लेकिन उसकी वजह यह है कि आपके दिमाग पे नंबर ऑफ थॉट्स रन कर रहे हैं ग्लोरियस मैटर के ऊपर, तो वो एक तरह का पोएट क्या कह रहा है, वो वर्च्यू है. और इस तरह की जो एब्सेंट माइंडेडनेस है उसको वो एक गुण मानता है, एक अच्छा मानता है. द क्वेश्चन वेदर द possession of good memory is altogether desirable has often been discussed, and men with fallible memories have sometimes tried to make out a case for their superiority. A man, they say, who is a perfect remembering machine is seldom a man of the first intelligence, and they quote various cases of children or men who had marvelous memories and yet had no intellect to speak of music have been men with exceptional power of memory. जो इस तरह के लोग होते हैं वो क्या होते हैं, उनकी अपनी एक exceptional power होती है मेमोरी की. The poet I have known have had better memories than the stockbroker. I have known. Memory indeed, half the substance of their art. वो मेमोरी क्या है, वो जो उनके जो आर्ट है उसका एक तरह का हाफ सब्सटेंस है. ऑन द अदर हैंड स्टेट्समैन सीम टू हैव एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी बैड मेमोरीज. लेट टू स्टेट्समैन अटेम्प्ट टू रिकॉल द सेम इवेंट. व्हाट हैपेंड, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एट सम कैबिनेट मीटिंग, एंड each of them will tell you that the other's story is so inaccurate that either he has a memory like a sieve or is an audacious perverter of the truth. The frequency with which the facts in the autobiographies and speeches of statesmen are challenged suggests that the world has not yet begun to produce ideal statement. जो इस तरह का जब कैलकुलेट करके देखा जाता है तो क्या लगता है कि जो इस तरह के स्टेट्समैन होते हैं वो एक्यूरेट नहीं होते हैं, दे आर नॉट परफेक्ट. Men who, like great poets, have the genius of memory and of intellectual complaint. At the same time, ordinarily, good memory is so common that we regard a man who doesn't possess it as eccentric. I have heard of father who, having offered to take the baby out in perambulator, was tempted by the sunny morning to pause on his journey and slip into a public house for a glass of beer. Leaving his perambulator outside, he disappeared through the door of the salon bar. बेबी को जो लेके गया है परैम्बुलेटर में, वो कहाँ उसने क्या करा कि बार में चला गया एक ग्लास लेने के लिए, और उसके बाद जो है कहाँ से बाहर निकला है, सैलों बार से. A little later, his wife had to do some shopping, which took her past the public house, where to her horror she discovered her sleeping baby. Indignant at her husband's behavior, she decided to teach him a lesson. She wheeled away the perambulator, picturing to herself his terror when he would come out find the baby gone. She arrived home anticipating with angry relish the white face and quivering lips that would soon appear with the news that the baby had been stolen. जब वाइफ ने देखा तो उसको बड़ा गुस्सा आया अपने हस्बैंड के ऊपर, और उसने क्या गुस्से में कहा कि बहुत जल्दी जो है न्यूज़ में क्या रहेगा कि बेबी को चुरा लिया गया है. What was her vexation, however, when just before lunch her husband came in smiling cheerfully. My dear, what's for lunch today? Forgotten all about the baby and the fact that he had taken it out with them. वास्तविकता क्या थी कि वो उस सब चीज़ को भूल गया था. उस सब को भूल के उसने लंच के बारे में बात करी. How many men below the rank of a philosopher would be capable of such absent-mindedness as this? Most of us, I fear, are born with precisely efficient memories. If were not so, the institution of the family could not survive in any great modern city. कि अगर ऐसा रहा कि बेबी को ले जाकर के रास्ते में भूल गए, तो अगर इस तरह का चलता रहा तो जो फैमिली नाम की इंस्टीट्यूशन है वो मॉडर्न सिटी में सर्वाइव नहीं करेगी. I hope you have enjoyed the story. Now it's time to revise. You can revise it.